Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the ORB strategy, the ORB. I'm sure you guys have heard this. Everybody seems to really love this strategy. And before we jump into it, one thing I do have to preface the video with, this is never financial advice. Trading comes with a large amount of risk and trade at your own risk. So with saying that as well, make sure you guys are subbing to the channel. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And let's talk about the orb and the indicator that I use to get this on the screen. It's going to be in indicators. You're going to click the tab and then you're going to go to the ORB and it's going to be the one with price targets. Get that cash money, 3.2K. So now how do we utilize this? So it's essentially just the 15-minute opening range. A lot of people use this, but how do you enter trades off of this? So this is something you will have to go in and test for yourself. But me personally, what I like to do is enter anytime there is a break. That's how I trade. That's how I've been successful with the strategy. And I will enter trades on a clean break. So I would have gone long here and my trade's never invalid until it breaks below or again hits my drawdown. This is on ES and we can see that we hit that first target, which was the target one for around 11 points on ES. We maybe came a little bit lower, maybe 10 points, depending again to where you enter also. If you hesitate with this, obviously these numbers will be skewed. This is just a projection tool. Okay, say you would like to do a break and retest. What does that mean? A break of the orb, and then it retests down, and then it has the continuation. So say you got in on this retest here, and then you took profit for around 11 points. Okay, do we see another opportunity? Could this have been a fake out here? Yes. Could you still made some money? Sure, right? Let's go to this one. 10 points, right? So there's multiple opportunities on ES. When we come in, we look at different days as well. Let's go back to a different session and let's look at this. This is where you have to decide what works for your style trading. And if it's a break and a retest, would you have ever gotten a clean position trading it this way on a 1-minute chart? No. Right? You would have seen it break and you would have been waiting. Nothing really happened. Could you quantify that as a retest of the area? This candle here? Potentially, right? It's really up to you, but it never was invalid. It went straight to the purple target and then actually hit blue this day. So 27 points on ES. Let's look at another example. Okay, let's look at this day. What do we see happening here? So we never get a break above. We finally get a break below. And we can see that it essentially kind of retested with this 1-minute candle and then made the move directly down to purple. So we could put our short position on and whatever our risk management is, that's up to you, right? This is your trading journey. And again, we hit blue. So purple, blue, hit. Okay, this is for ES. Let's go over to NQ and let's try to make sense of this. Today was a really wicky day in the market, but you can see that if we came down to our 1-minute candle and we look at this area of interest, right? Here's the breakout. So we would go long and then we would be seeking out purple for our first take profit, but we can see that market came all the way back down around 40 points in drawdown if you were to enter on the break. Oh, I might be a little high. Okay, let's try that. Still 36 points is pretty aggressive depending on how you're trading. So again, we had a break. What would that have been point-wise, right? So going in here, backtesting and making sure this makes sense to your specific risk management. Let's go look at another day. Again, ES follows NQ closely. So again, hit blue and purple. We would go ahead and put our long position on and we would capitalize on our move. Okay, let's look at one other example here and see if this would have potentially made sense to hit purple. Yes, it hit purple. We would have went short right out of the break for 106 points, right? Okay, so does this work on other markets? And are there days where it does not work? Yes. There's days when it's not going to be as clean as those previous examples that we just looked at. So this one, for instance, right? We had a break. It pulled all the way back down about 9 points, 10 points. So not terrible, right? Depending again on your risk management. Did we ever hit purple? No. So what does this tell you, right? You have to have good risk management and understand how this works. Could you have taken this short as well? So let's go ahead and put a short position on. It broke out. How many points did it go? About 14 points before it reversed, right? So risk management is key with any strategy. Doesn't matter the strategy. We finally got a clean move, but this is after hours. This is after the entire New York session. So we can look at another example here. So we made a very wide opening range, and then we had the breakout. What do we see here? We could have went long, and it came about 40-ish points, depending on when you entered into profit. Let's look at this one. Came about 30 points in profit. And then this one finally went and hit purple. But remember, when this happens, how is this happening? How many trades are you taking, right? Understanding all of those things. We can look at one other example, and then we are going to look at silver and gold. So what do we see here? We hit purple, we hit blue, and then NQ melted. Okay, now let's go look at silver, and let's understand how this potentially works with silver. Silver is a different beast altogether. Trading metals is manipulative in my opinion, but you can get very solid moves on silver. We go over this live with the team and understand. We have a silver full breakdown of how silver evaluations work and how they're different from points. They're in a dollar and cent instead of a point value. So could you have been in some type of drawdown? Would that have been significant? No. So could you have capitalized and waited for this to come all the way up here? Yes. This is actually a trade I did take this morning at the time of filming this video. Okay, so now let's go look at a previous day. Remember, we're on the 1 minute and we are looking at our previous day. So large opening range again. What do we see here again? Same type of behavior. So whatever you are trying to trade or whatever it is that you want to trade, look at the patterns that create within what you're trying to trade. If you're trying to trade the metals market, look for the patterns. If you're trying to trade something like ES, NQ, or YM, again, look at the patterns, right? So we had the break, a small retest. So let's see how much we would have been potentially in drawdown had we entered right at the break. And we would have been about 12 cents in drawdown. And then it went up to about 30 cents or so. Did it hit purple? It did not hit purple this day. So understanding the point values that you could potentially be seeking out of these. So let's go look at this day now. And let's see what happened. We immediately just had a short position. So here's our short. Where did we go to? So that first initial leg down is a 50-cent move. That's a very large move when it comes to silver. Okay, now let's go look at gold with the same ideas in mind. So with looking at gold, we can see this is on a 3 minute. Let's go down to a 1 minute just so we can make sense of this clearly and understand how this moves. So we can see that it almost got to purple. So we could have went long here. And about 12 to 14 points, depending again where you enter. And then it reversed, came back down, retested the area, and then shot back up. And then finally hit the purple level for around 15 points. And then tried for blue, didn't quite get there, but a 26-point move. Very significant again on gold. So let's see this day, what did we have here? Another long position, right? Here's our long position. Could you have taken the initial break right here and then had a retest down and about 5 to 6 points, depending again where you enter? Is the risk to reward and your risk management on point to be able to do something like this for your account, right? So again, we hit purple, it tried for blue, didn't get there, so around 20 points in profit. Never came fully back down and retested until way later in the day. We finally got a retest here and then pushed up. This again is at 11 a.m. Remember, when you're watching my videos, I am Pacific Standard Time. So let's go to another day and look at entry. Okay, this would have been my short position. I would have went short here, captured around 10, maybe 11 points, depending again where you enter this trade. Let's just be realistic with this. Around 10 points. That's again a significant move. What do we see happen again? It retests all the way up into the zone and then comes all the way back down, and we almost hit purple. So could you have taken it on the second? Potentially, yeah, for around 17 points, sure. Again, it gave you another opportunity, and then another, and then finally these two kind of get short, and then what do we see happen? We see potentially a breakout later in the day around 9 a.m. and then it finally breaks above, but briefly, and then market closure. Okay. So this is the orb strategy. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments, but you can see how this can be helpful. Again, setting risk parameters around it and understanding whatever market it is that you are trading and how this works for you, and potentially that every day is not going to be a beautiful day, right? Every day is not going to be 10 points. Every day is not going to be, 20 points on gold. Almost hit purple here. And as always, we live trade every single morning for New York session. We utilize a few different things inside the community. It is in my bio, so if you guys want to check that out, you can. Or if you just like the education, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure you sub to the channel to know when new videos are coming out. So we can see here that we have a short and then another short. So it gave us this first opportunity for 15 points, and then we could have shorted again. And then this one was very, very significant. Again, metals have been extremely volatile. So that is it for the orb strategy.